Hi, Fergus is my name from UBUILDPRO, and today I want to take you through the builder section and show you screenshots of as to how the whole system works, and basically a demo, so you'll get a fuller understanding of what the system can do for you. When you register, this is the screen you will see here. Down below here are two buildings that have been preloaded onto the system by customers. So initially what I'm going to talk to you about are the settings. As with all computer systems, you will have a little bit of housekeeping. You'll be glad to know it's mostly automated, so I'll just give you a quick run through that. So you have your settings where you will set up a profile, so potential customers and architects, agents, engineers, etc. will see you. You will tell us what type builder you are. We have a main contractor or a builder stroke trade. You will tell us what areas of the country you operate in. And now you have your item prices. Your item prices is what we call your master price list. And when you register first, this will be presented to you. All the components that are used in a house. And we have generic names on all of these products. And you can go into any of these and you can see the list, and you, as I say, you will see that they are all priced up. You can change these prices simply by taking one of them. It highlights to green, and that indicates that it's your price. After you have processed 3 houses, this auto price kicks in. It takes a record of the actual prices you've used in previous jobs, and you can take these actual prices or an average of them to update your master list. So it's a very automated system. That's your housekeeping. So let's go back to the main list. Here, as I say, are 2 houses that have come in. I'll take this first one that I sent in from myself. And if we go in and view building, this is the menu that you will see. We have broken all product and components down into 3 main categories, and they are based on who supplies them. First, you have builders providers. So we have all the components stroke product that typically come from a builder's merchant. Then we have come from a quarry or aggregate, and then all other products. The finishes tend to be products that come from either specialized suppliers, and in a lot of cases can come from builders merchants as well. It'll become more apparent as you see the system. If I go into builders providers, you are presented with 2 lists. Down below, the system has calculated all the quantities that are needed of components for every product. The customer, remember, has spec'd up the house. They have picked all the products they want, and in here we have all the component build-up of each product and the quantities they're needed. If I go down to any of them, for example, if I go to roof area, I could use this as an example, the roof cover. If I go in and view details, it's given me a full list of all the components that will typically come from the builder's merchant, gives us all the quantities, and you can review these quantities. As you review the quantities, we do put the vital statistics, if you like, of the area you're working in. So here the area, the roof, the length of ridges, etc. And also we attach a PDF image to give you a visual of the area that you're working in. So as I say, you can review these quantities if you like, but I would suggest to you that they're quite accurate. They're constantly being monitored. In the upper section, we have listed all the builders provider components that are needed for this particular house. All listed here in generic names. Here are all the prices. You have a couple of options. In your master list, any product that you have changed, be it manually or automatically, it will be highlighted in green. So when a house comes into you, equally it will come in green here. So if you see any component that is highlighted in green, that is actually your price. So you really only need to concentrate on the ones that aren't green. I appreciate they're all on ungreen here at the moment. Your choices are, you can go in and simply change the price on a product, and that price will be populated throughout the system for all incidents of that product in the house. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can go out to a supplier for a price. By simply ticking the boxes, any item you like, That is indicating to the system that you want to go out for a price. So you tick the items and you hit update. Now you've selected the items you want to go out for pricing on builders providers. If we go into query, it's the exact same process. You tick the items you want to go out for a price, change the prices, and down in the lower section, review and change the quantities. We go into finishes. These work slightly different. We cluster the items together. You wouldn't want to go out for, say, in gutters, you wouldn't want to go out to one supplier for the downpipes and another supplier for the shoes. You tend to go out to the same supplier for the set of items. Again, all the items as picked by the customer, and now you're reviewing it. If I go to roof again, here we have the roof. If I go in and view the details, here are the components of the actual roof material itself needed. These could come from your builder's merchants, or they could come from a specialized supplier. Here are all the quantities the system has worked out, which again I would add are accurate, that you will need for the build of the house, and here are the prices. You can adjust the prices. Again, you have the main areas for reviewing, and you have PDF images if you want to have a look at that. You can add a component if you feel that we're missing a component, you want to add one, you can add that in and add the price. You can now go out for a price on it as well. I'll take that roof cover and I'm going to tick that box, and again that indicates to the system that I want to go out for a price on it. At this point I have reviewed all the product, I'm happy with all the quantities. My master price list has come in with a lot of the prices which are in green, which are indicated are my prices. I've possibly changed some prices, and I've indicated at this point that I want to go to suppliers. Now we look at labour, and labour acts in exactly the same way, where for all the different subgroups of products, you can go into any of these and view the hours that we have allocated to doing that particular job. The system has calculated that to stick with the same roof cover. If I go in and view details, it's telling us that there's a roofer needed here, and to finish the roof covers 176 hours, and to do the timber and felt is to do 41 hours. You can change that if you wish, and again you have all the details here, images and areas to help you in that decision. I'll go back here, and in the upper section we have the rates in for the different labour types. If you change any of these figures, again it'll be populated throughout the system. When you have made all these decisions, you simply now hit next step and the computer moves on. Remember those items that you've ticked? You just put a name of the house in here. I just have Tullow here, and that's the date you want the prices back in by. You hit next, and here's, you will remember we ticked roof cover to go out to get a price on, and for some of the builders providers product as well. I'll just quickly go in and show you how to select a supplier for a price. If I go in here and hit select, we have listed in the system all the suppliers for each different type product in the country. They're in county order, or you can pick all if you like. I just happen to be in Carlow here now, and I have preloaded the system with a couple of generic names. So if I pick roof supplier 1 for the first choice, for my second choice, roof supplier 2, and now one of the builders providers has registered to say that he does this particular type roof cover as well, so we'll select him as well. As you select them, they appear up here, and you simply hit confirm. They're here now. Now I'll go into the builders providers items, and again I'll stick in Carlow, and I'll pick 3 suppliers that I want to go out and get for a price on for those items I ticked. At this point I'll just add, if your chosen supplier is not in the list, if you simply put their email in there, hit submit, an email will go to them inviting them to join the system, so you can then select them. I will go in here and I'll pick number 1 for the first slot. This slot here we could pick for the second slot, and we'll pick him for the third slot. So it's in a slot system. Hit confirm, and now I have picked the suppliers I want to go out for. I simply hit assign and the computer moves on again. What happens at this stage here now is it's coming back to you with the list of suppliers you've picked and the number of component items you want to go out for a price on. At this point, what we would ask you to do is contact the supplier, decide who you're dealing with. The telephone number will come up here, as this was a generic supplier I put in, it hasn't come up, but we would have all the telephone numbers in, because one day you might be dealing with Tom in the company, and the next day you might be dealing with John. So it's important for you to direct the email at the specific person you want to get the price in from. So simply by from then, like any email, hit send, and now it goes out to that supplier. What happens now is the system is now waiting for the prices to come back in from the suppliers. And as they come back in, they come back into this section. Now, this is not populated, but this will actually show the price that each supplier has come back in with. There'll be a select button beside that where you can select whichever of the suppliers you want. When you hit select, the prices that they have quoted will be again populated throughout the system. Very quick and simple system to use. At this point, you have now completed all your pricing, your product quantities, and all your labor. Next, you would move into margins. For every new house, it's always set to 0, so you will set the margin percentage you require for each of the different areas. Simply hit update, and that will move the system on, and it will update the overall price of the house. Finally, we have a build phase, which is a payment and build schedule on it. If you want to, that's optional if you want to fill that in, and that goes back to the customer as well. When you've completed everything, you simply hit release quote, and now all the information goes back to the customer. And you have a full reporting system whereby you can see exact quantities, bills of materials, what suppliers you selected for quotation, and of course every piece of information that you've sent back to the customer. That's basically how the whole building section of UBUILDPRO works. So I would suggest that what you possibly do is come onto one of the webinars. I give regular webinars where I'll even go into a bit more detail. You'll be able to ask me questions, or alternatively, using one of the tabs down below, why don't you register? You will get a sample house where there's a very good guide system called Walk Me, which will guide you through the whole system. Play around with the sample house, and then at any point upload your own project. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having a look at this video.